Great forward planning is an essential skill you'll need to learn and practice to pass your ADI Part 2 test. Plus, it has huge benefits for any driver. You'll save hundreds of pounds a year on fuel, you'll be pumping out less fumes, your maintenance costs will be less, you'll feel more relaxed, and you'll help to keep the traffic flowing. What's not to like about that? Hi, I'm Jeff. I've been a Grade A instructor and instructor trainer for over 17 years, and I'm here to support instructors, trainee instructors, and learners. In this video, I'm going to show you how to keep your wheels rolling as much as possible. Before we dive into the content though, please hit that like and subscribe button. That would be amazing. Thanks.
So this little exercise that we're going to do now is going to really help you to develop your forward planning skills. Of course, that then naturally takes in your observations. It also is going to draw in your ability to anticipate what other road users may do. It is going to require, if you like, perhaps a higher degree of car control than perhaps you may have at the moment. And it is also going to definitely bring in your ability to judge things correctly. So it really covers the spectrum of those 5 skills. It's a very simple exercise in principle to do. Not so easy to execute. It may take you a fair amount of time and practice to do this, but as with anything, if you are dedicated to that practice and you get out and do this stuff regularly, which you can do on your own, you can do it every single time you get in the car, whether you're with somebody else or on your own, just in your own time, as and when you can. Just try to keep the car moving wherever you possibly can. Okay, as I say, it's a little bit of a fun exercise. It's something you can have a game with yourself on. Perhaps you can challenge your partner on it as well. See who might be better at doing it. But it is really, really useful in terms of developing that forward planning and developing the other 4 skills as well. So let's have a little look at it in practice. I think it makes more sense when you see it demonstrated than it does when perhaps you're talking about it. And to help you to understand sort of where I'm coming from, what's going through my head and what I'm doing in terms of my car control, my forward planning, my anticipation, my judgment of the situations that I'm going to encounter en route, I'll give you a little bit of a commentary as well. So I'm in a local town called Pocklington at the moment. We're going to be just having a short drive around, probably for around about, say, 5 minutes or so. There are quite a few junctions that we're going to be doing. It's a reasonably busy town. It's got a town centre. It's got lots of situations where you're going to get parked vehicles, you're going to get emerging vehicles. We're going to have pedestrians, perhaps cyclists to deal with, roundabouts. We don't have any traffic lights, but beyond that, we've got pretty much a good spectrum of stuff that we're going to need to deal with. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to set off and let's see if I manage to keep the car moving throughout the drive until we get back here into this parking position. Okay, so listen up, have a watch, and hopefully this makes sense. So I'm putting out of the parking position now. There are a number of the vehicles in the car park. I can see that I've got an exit just up ahead. There is a blue car that's approaching the exit, but I can see that it's got its indicator on, so it's turning off. Have a little look into the side roads. Nobody emerging. Got some pedestrians crossing up ahead, so I'm going to anticipate that there could be more. So I'm going to approach this little speed ramp just with a bit of caution. It's not a giveaway here, but I'm coming up to a T-junction. I'm going to be turning left. So I'm looking out for an opportunity to keep the car moving. So I'm sliding it back into first gear, approaching the junction really slowly, and now I can see there's no need for me to stop. I'm going to go left at the roundabout. Again, I can see the roundabout's empty. No reason for me to stop here. Now, as soon as I exit the roundabout, I'm going to be forward planning again, looking as far up the road as I possibly can. I can see there's nothing approaching at the moment, nothing behind. Okay, there are some pedestrians on the pavements, but they're not causing me any problem. Now I can see there's a sign for a roundabout just up ahead. It's a mini roundabout, so it's likely that my observations are going to be very restricted. There are some other cars approaching the roundabout and at the roundabout, so again I'm going to slide it into first gear, and I'm just looking for the opportunity to keep the car moving, which I've got there. A little bit of gentle acceleration because there was another car that was about to come onto the roundabout, so just wanted to get out of their way. Okay, I'm going to be turning right here, so just going through my normal routine, having a nice early look into the side road and also up the road just to make sure that I'm okay to keep the car moving. Okay, the car followed me into this road. I'm forward planning. I can see that there is some form of farm vehicle coming towards me, and it looks like there's a queue of cars behind as well. So I'm just going to slow my speed right down here. There's no point in me driving up to the first parked vehicle in front and then stopping unnecessarily. So here I've been able to keep the car rolling because I've anticipated other vehicles coming from behind that tractor or whatever it was. You know, I've slowed down nice and early, and that's allowed me to keep the car moving. I'm not holding anybody up because they couldn't go anyway, you know, in terms of any vehicles behind me. And I'll be turning left just up ahead here. Okay, again, nice and early look into the side road, checking behind as well, of course. And then planning forward straight away, okay? Nobody coming towards me, nobody coming out of side roads, no pedestrians or cyclists to deal with, so I can make progress. I'm going to be going left at the roundabout. Again, now I'm looking for an opportunity to keep the car moving, so I'm going to bring the car's speed right down. Now I can see the roundabout's going to be completely empty, so I can just keep the car moving around. Again, forward planning into the new road as soon as I possibly can. Got parked vehicles on the left, a vehicle approaching towards me. So I'm just going to ease off my speed now. Again, always looking for an opportunity to keep the car moving. Nothing behind this blue vehicle, so I can safely pull out. Now I'm anticipating that other vehicles might come into this road, and there's one just approached. So I'm going to give them priority because the parked vehicles are on my side. I don't want to block the junction, so I'm just having a little look into that junction, and here I'm keeping the car rolling. There's a car that's just reversed out of a driveway, but they're now pulling ahead so I can safely accelerate. Again, another parked vehicle ahead. I'm going to be turning left at the end of the road. I'm going to anticipate that there may be another car that comes into the road at any moment, so I'm not increasing my speed. Okay, and now I'm slowing down for the junction. I'm getting that speed down really low because if there is something coming from the right, yeah, I want to keep the car moving if I can. Okay, planning again up ahead and behind. You can see there's a row of parked vehicles, but it looks like there's enough space for two vehicles to pass safely. But a vehicle emerging from the right, I'm going to anticipate that they may be about to pull out in front of me, so I'm not going to accelerate, because if I accelerated and they pulled out, then I may need to brake quite sharply and come to a stop. Again, scanning the road ahead, looking up the road as far as I can see there's a pedestrian crossing coming up, so looking out nice and early, left and right, just for any evidence that I may need to slow down and let somebody cross. I'm going to be turning left just up ahead, just after the crossing. Again, planning into the new road, can't see anything that I may need to slow down or stop for just at the moment. Now I'm going to be turning left through the high street. Now of course, yeah, that's going to bring up the opportunity and possibility of pedestrians crossing, also parked vehicles coming out of parking bays either on the left or the right. So scanning up both sides of the road, looking up ahead, can't see any pedestrians crossing in front of me. There is a crossing up ahead, but it looks like there are going to be no pedestrians at the moment when I get there, but that may change. So I'm going to approach the crossing nice and slow. There are people on the right and the left, but it doesn't look like they're going to cross, so I'll be able to keep the car moving. Okay, got a cyclist up ahead. I'm not planning on overtaking, he's pulled out anyway, pulled in should I say. Okay, so I'm just going to carry on driving up the end of the road. Now a bit of a blind view up ahead, so again I'm not going to accelerate in case something was just out of sight that I might need to react to. Going to be turning left at the end of the road. Again, I'm looking for an opportunity to keep the car moving. So I'm just going to slow right down at the T-junction. Okay, approach it nice and slow, give myself plenty of time to look all around, and now planning up ahead. So I've got a car that's approaching, I'm going to need to pull in for, but again, I'm not going to stop. Because I've pulled out nice and slow, anticipating that there may be a vehicle about to come through, and of course knowing the area that I'm driving in as well, then that level of anticipation allowed me to keep the car moving. If I hadn't have slowed down and just pulled straight out, then the likelihood is I would have needed to brake to a stop and then gone afterwards. Okay, so again, similar routine here, slowing right down, turning left at the junction, anticipating that there may be vehicles that I need to slow down for. I'm going to slow down for this blue car almost to a stop, but not quite. Okay, I was rolling around about 1 or 2 miles an hour there, but the important thing is I'm going through that thought process of what might be about to happen. I'm bringing my speed down, I'm controlling the car as I need to deal with anything that might be just up ahead. Okay, again I'm dealing with the roundabout here. It's going to be empty by the time I get there, so just safe for me to pull straight on. Scanning up the road ahead, bit of a blind view, don't want to get any closer to this white van in front because again they can see more than I can, and if they react and have to brake quite quickly and I'm too close, then I'll have to brake and stop with them. I'm going to be going straight ahead at the roundabout. Okay, so again looking for an opportunity to keep the car moving by approaching the roundabout really slow, right, in the last sort of 20 yards or so, giving myself plenty of time to make any slight adjustments to my speed that I might need to in order to keep the car going. I've got a red temporary traffic light ahead. The cars in front are coming to a stop. I'm going to look to just creep up to the last car very, very slowly. Nobody on the crossing, so I don't need to stop for them. You can see there are some vehicles that are approaching. If the lights are on a sensor, then it's likely they won't change until the last car has passed. So I'm just going to keep the car rolling very, very slowly, still doing about 1 mile an hour, and hoping that the lights will change. Of course they may not do, and they have. Okay, the lights have changed, so now no need to stop, and I'm able to keep the car rolling. Incidentally, there are benefits of keeping a car rolling. It's far more fuel efficient to do so. You're putting less wear and tear on the tyres, you're pumping out less fumes, and it's ultimately going to save you in your pocket, okay, because it makes driving cheaper and more affordable, and puts less wear and tear on the car, so your maintenance costs are going to be lower as well. So whilst it is a little bit of a fun game to play and will help improve your 5 top level skills, there are also some economic benefits to it as well. So just slowing for a roundabout coming up ahead, I'm going to be going straight ahead. So again, anticipating there might be another vehicle about to join the roundabout, so I'm just going to slow right down. There's nothing there, so I can safely and gently accelerate onto the roundabout and into the exit road. So checking behind just to see if there's anything back there that I need to be concerned about. There isn't. And also by allowing a nice big gap between me and the vehicle in front, should they start to brake, I'm giving myself plenty of time to gently brake myself, bring the speed down nice and slowly, and again looking for the opportunity to keep the car moving if I can. Now at the end of the road here, it could be the first time that I might possibly need to stop, because I'm going to be turning right out of a T-junction onto a very normally busy road. Okay, and there may be very limited opportunities for me to go. But again, I'm going to stack things in my favour by approaching the junction very, very slowly. It's quite an open junction, so I will be able to get a good look in both directions before I get to the giveway line. And again, by bringing my speed right down, that's going to help me make the best judgment that I can. Okay, so coming down into second, now sliding into first. No point in getting any closer to these vehicles. You know, I'm waiting for them to go. The van's now going. The blue car's moving forward. They're going as well. I can now look left and right. Left is clear, right is clear, and I'm away. Okay, checking behind. There is a car that's approaching quite quickly behind, so I'll accelerate quite quickly, just to prevent them from needing to touch the brake and slow down unnecessarily. Okay, so got an open road in front. No hazards around at the moment, I can notice, but there is a building on the left, which I can see that I'm coming up to. So I could be anticipating there might be a vehicle turning into or out of that particular junction. Doesn't look like there is, just making progress. Again, there are a couple of junctions right and left. So just nice early scanning ahead. Again, all to do with forward planning, observations, anticipation, using the car control as necessary, and then that all gives you and your learners the time to make the correct judgment and the opportunity to keep the car moving. So a parked vehicle there on the left, so that's not going to cause me a problem. I've got a roundabout coming up ahead, so I'm going to be turning right there. So obviously there is the potential for other vehicles to be approaching or joining the roundabout. So again, whilst I'm maintaining a decent speed, now I'm up to the speed limit, I'm not causing anybody a problem, I'm not holding anybody up. What I am going to do is start slowing down fairly early and then slow right down before I actually make a decision to enter the roundabout. So assessing the vehicles on the right, looking at their road position, can see they're not going to be coming round towards me, so it gives me a nice early opportunity to make that safe judgment call that it's absolutely fine for me to enter the roundabout. Same thing here, smaller roundabout, same principle though, bringing the speed right down, approaching it nice and slow. Can see a vehicle approaching from the right, but they're indicating moving off, so no need for me to stop, just carry on driving. So entrance to the petrol station on the right, pretty much empty road ahead, got one vehicle obviously directly ahead of me, no vehicles approaching at the moment. Can see that there are some junctions coming up on the left and right, so again nice early observations, again with those pedestrians as well, not giving me any clues whatsoever that they're thinking about crossing the road. So just keep half an eye on them just to make sure that doesn't change. See speed limit change coming up ahead. I'm going at 40 anyway, so no need for me to come off the gas or touch my brake. A little bit of a blind bend up ahead, so again I'm going to anticipate there might be something just out of sight. So I'm going to bring my speed down nice and early. Another speed limit change, so I need to bring the speed down anyway. Pedestrians on the right, approaching vehicles, but nothing else for me to worry about at the moment. Okay, and we're nearly back to our start point, and I've not stopped once. Okay, so I'm going to be turning right just up ahead. It's the second right. So again, I'm anticipating I may need to slow down for an approaching vehicle to turn around the back of. That pedestrian isn't going to get to the junction before I do. Now I can see that there is a car that I'm going to slow down for, but they've stopped for the pedestrian crossing, but another car has just pulled out. But if I just keep the speed down now and then enter the new road before the white car had cleared the pedestrian crossing, then that allows me to cross nice and safely in front without causing them to touch their brake at all. Again, so I'm just going to slow down because I'm approaching two vehicles. Okay, because I've left a really big gap between me and this parked vehicle on the left, I can now keep the car creeping nice and slowly forward. Still haven't stopped, only doing about a couple of miles an hour, checking behind, all safe to go. Okay, so nearly back to the car park now, so just a couple of lefts to do. So next left, very tight. I know there are a couple of supermarkets here, so there may be pedestrians or cars around that I need to react to. So again, thinking ahead, a bit like a chess player, try and think 2, 3, 4 stages ahead, trying to anticipate what might be about to come up. I can use my judgment and control the car to bring the speed down, to give me time give me time to take those observations and plan accordingly. Okay, so we're coming back into the car park now. Now, obviously, here I am going to need to bring the car to a stop because I'm going to reverse into a parking bay. So I just need to stop briefly first to do that. Before I enter the bay itself. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, quite a lot to deal with. It's not a terribly busy day today in terms of traffic on the road, but without having in mind those 5 high-level core skills that we need as driving instructors for our own development, for preparing to pass our Part 2 test, and then carrying those on into the way that we teach learners, then almost certainly I would have been driving around like vast majority of other people would have driven that route, and you probably would have stopped at least 3 or 4 times, all completely unnecessarily. As I was driving around, I didn't hold anybody up. It didn't make my journey slower. I couldn't have done it any quicker, without breaking the speed limit. And I've saved a little bit of money in my pocket as well, because I'm not using up unnecessary energy and fuel through the car by getting this vehicle moving from a stationary position, by keeping that momentum going all the time and accelerating from a rolling start as opposed to a complete stop, if you like. Then over the course of time I'm going to be spending a fair degree less on fuel. Okay, hope that makes sense. I hope you find that useful. Get out, have a practice, try it on your own. You may find it a little bit tricky to begin with if it's not something that you're familiar with, it's not a normal natural driving style for you. Like anything else, it will take practice, but practice makes perfect. So have a go, have a bit of fun, and see how you get on. Okay, cheers.